Welcome to Biology Study Point. Today we will discuss a very important topic, reflex action of CBSE class 10 syllabus. Some contents, some topics will be discussed here today. What is reflex action, about reflex arc, some examples of reflex action and importance of reflex action. So here we go. First, reflex action. Reflex action is an immediate involuntary action of any organ or part of the body in response to a particular stimulus. So reflex action is an immediate action, that is sudden action, which is occurred because of some particular stimulus, which is involuntary. That means which occurs without the involvement of our will or consciousness. So without our consciousness, this movement or this action occurs. So this is an involuntary action. So when we touch a hot thing, we immediately remove our hand. This is immediate action, and which is involuntary, which occurs without our consciousness or our will. So reflex action is an immediate involuntary action of any organ or part of the body in response to a particular stimulus. Now, reflex arc. Reflex arc is the nervous pathway. Okay, this is the nervous pathway through which the nerve impulses travels during reflex action. So during reflex action, when the nerve impulses passes some pathway, covers some pathway, and this nervous pathway is called reflex arc. Okay, so now this is the structure, this is the diagram of reflex action, reflex arc, where this acts as a stimulus, which is a hot thing. When we touch, then the receptors that are present in the skin, which receive this stimulus and send it in the form of nerve impulse or electrical impulse through the sensory neuron to the central nervous system. Here the central nervous system is the spinal cord. In spinal cord, after reaching the information, the relay neurons that are present in spinal cord, these relay neurons decode this information and send information to the effector, which is the muscle in the arm, through the motor neurons. Okay, and for this, when the effectors get the information from the spinal cord through the motor neurons, the muscle contract and we remove our hand. But this movement, this removing of the hand from the hot thing is not by our will, okay, or our consciousness. So this is an involuntary action, and which is immediate action. So here the stimulus is the hot thing, and where the receptors are present in the skin, receive the information, receive the stimulus and send the information through the sensory nerve to the central nervous system, which is probably the spinal cord. In most of the cases spinal cord, and sometimes brain. So spinal cord acts mainly in this process, and here the central nervous system, that is spinal cord, send the message to the effector to react through the motor nerves. Okay, and that's why we respond, and this time our hand or the part of the body is removed from the stimulus. Next is there some examples of reflex action. Here, blinking of an eyelid, Blinking of an eyelid is the example of reflex action. So when the bright light falls on our eyes, our eyelid closes or blinks. This is an example of reflex action. Next, salivation at the sight of or smell of food. Salivation, that is the when we see or get the smell of food, our saliva is released into our mouth. So this salivation is an example of reflex action. Sneezing is also an example of reflex action. So when foreign particles enters into our nose, we sneeze to remove it from the body. So this sneezing is an example of reflex action. And number 4, that is the immediate removal of hand when we touch a hot things. Okay. Now, what are the importance of reflex action? Firstly, it enables the animals to respond immediately. It enables the animals to respond immediately to the harmful stimuli so that no harm is caused to it. So think about it, if we touch a thing and we can't remove our hand immediately, so our hands will be burnt. Okay, and so that's why immediate response must be needed for the to rescue our part of the body which is touched by the hot thing. Next is it relieves the brain of too much work as the responses of routine nature take the form of a reflex action. So the responses which occurs during the routine nature, about the routine nature, that means when we exercise, when we do exercise, the web of peristalsis is produced in our intestine, which can exhaust our brain. So to give the relief to the brain, reflex action is very much important. Okay, so thank you for watching.